Indeed. It is called Lothric, where the transitory lands of the Lords of Cinder converge. In venturing north, the pilgrims discover the truth of the old words. The fire fades, and the lords go without thrones. When the link of fire is threatened, the bell tolls, unearthing the old lords of Cinder from their graves. Aldrich, saint of the deep, Farron's undead legion, the Abyss Watchers. And the reclusive lord of the profaned capital. Yon the giant. Only in truth, the lords will abandon their thrones. And the unkindled will rise. Nameless, accursed undead, unfit even to be Cinder. And so it is that ash seeketh embers.
All right. Now, Dark Souls. It's gained notoriety for being an incredibly difficult game where you encounter very difficult bosses and constantly die. That's its reputation. Well, that and you can die like many different ways. Enemies ambush you, kill you, you die. You fall off a cliff, you die. You're very fragile in this game, but you're not weak. When you die, it doesn't just go like, it feels like your progress is getting undone, but it's not. This game works with a currency called souls. Souls are what you use to level up, and souls are what you use as currency to purchase weapons, armor, upgrades. Not health items though. Absolutely not. No, health is relegated to a flask that you drink that refills your health. It's limited, and you'll see. But yeah, like Dark Souls, reputation for being a difficult game. I would say it's a more it's a challenging game, but it's a fair game. It only feels like it's like, you know, this game is trying to torture you. No, it's trying to get you to learn how to play it better. So what it's doing. be smarter, be vigilant. Because if you go running in, you're gonna get killed very easily. I forgot to put offline, otherwise I'm gonna get invaded. Hidden Blessing, you can find those, but they're extremely rare. So is this. So you pretty much have to rely on drinking from your flask to heal. I'm just gonna take this with me. So these faces look kind of funny. I'm gonna change the eyebrows on that one. Body hair, huh? Does thick look like? That's a lot of body hair. Well, not that much body hair. Maybe make it look less orangey. Or you can make yourself black. You can't make yourself another creature, but look like another creature, but you know. It's the eyebrows that are bothering me. There we go. Russian eyebrows. I won't spend too much time on the character creator. Looks alright. Now these ones just look angry. Unibrow. These ones look okay. Young and already going bald. Trying to make it look lighter, but yeah, maybe I should stick to the standard black. There we go. Give him a beard. Give him mutton chops. uh. This looks like a guy barely going through puberty, and that's the best you could do with the mustache. Okay, yeah. Alright, I don't want to miss. Tattoo. Who would get that tattooed on their forehead? Most of the time, you're not even gonna be able to see their face anyway. That's good enough. I think I need to keep the helmet on them for now. Oh yeah, you can, class. Now, I forgot to mention, you could pick different classes, but ultimately, you custom tailor, like, the best class you can use. Like, the most dramatic difference between classes, I would say, would be, a knight and a sorcerer. Now, a sorcerer can still use weapons, but a sorcerer, you're going to mainly be relying on magic attacks, and less on physical attacks. A pyromancer, you can still use physical attacks, but you'll be more inclined to focus on fire attacks. So, and the cleric, performs miracles. So, like, those are the classes that have the biggest differences. You could still upgrade the character to like be stronger more physically, but you got to kind of weigh it out. Like, but yeah, like you could start off a class, but then you could level up your character and like adjust your stats accordingly, and like you could balance it out. But ultimately, you're gonna want to, depending on your play style, you're gonna want to you're gonna want to like focus more on like one thing over another, so that way when the type of strategy you're more adapted to, you want to like push your stats in that direction. Like if you feel you're more adept with magic and like long range attacks, you're gonna want to like bring up those stats, because it wouldn't make sense to just have them like completely balanced. The more you level, the more souls it's going to cost to level up. So, if you're a physical build, you're going to want to stick with the physical build. If you're a sorcerer build, you want to like keep upping your stats on intelligence, and yeah, intelligence is and faith. I mean, it's not that you're definitely going to want to bring up your endurance as well, and vigor. Vigor is basically health. Um, but yeah, strength is. Wait, vitality and vigor. God, I get this game confused with the other two. Yeah. So basically, that's pretty much the basics. There's more to it than that, but it's pretty much the basics of different classes. Like the other physical based classes, they don't have like as much of a dramatic difference. It's just like the stats are like just slightly different. You know, like some weapons you can more easily parry, like with a tiny shield. You can parry an enemy's attack and do a more powerful attack against them. I'm kind of butchering the explanation. There's Dark Souls players that can explain it much better than I can. But yeah, you can start off with a build that's more inclined to parry, but parry takes a lot of practice. It's very critical that you learn the timing, and you read the enemy's attacks in order to like master parrying. So. But yeah, this is a high strength build. The only thing is like having high strength and high armor means you just move slower, meaning it'll be more difficult to dodge roll, you know. But you have to balance out whether. But the only problem is invisibility frames when you're dodge rolling, because you have to time your dodge roll correctly. If you don't, you're gonna get hit. Like even if you dodge rolled. So you have to be very careful. You have to pay very close attention. But yeah, like depending on what build you choose, it'll determine like, you know, what kind of equipment. You could actually remove equipment to make yourself lighter. But you know, you have to tailor like the play styles that suits you best. You know. But yeah, I prefer like physical builds. Like I don't prefer like sorcerer, pyromancer, or cleric, you know. Because when they use magic attacks, it's very limited, extremely limited. So that's why they still have a physical weapon anyway. Deprived, you could like challenge yourself and just start off with like all your base stats are kind of the same, and you find better weapons and better equipment as you go. I think that's more of a challenge, where that's more for advanced players. I'm not an advanced player. I just know how to survive. And yeah, I do die, but I'm just saying like. I make fewer attempts at bosses because I don't believe in like running my head against the wall. You know, if I don't think I'm strong enough, then well, I'll get myself stronger. You know, that sort of thing. All right, I should get to the gameplay now. My last two playthroughs, I've stuck with the knight build, so I won't be too heavy. But yeah, this is primarily an action RPG. There's a lot to go into when it comes to understanding the stats. Like, there's even stuff like the game doesn't even explain to you. You know, but that's collectively players kind of discuss these things, and players just find out these things together. So it's kind of neat. This is a very community-driven game. You know, its online features. Its online features are primarily you can summon players to assist you to kill a boss, or conversely, you could actually invade other players' games as they're playing. You can invade them and kill them for souls. Now, the incentive to helping a player defeat a boss is that you get souls, and you get Now, this game, like the first two games, use a system called hollowing and being hollowed and unhollowed. Hollowed is you're basically kind of undead, and unhollowed you're like alive. You're human. You know. Now, why would you want it? Well, if you die and still come back as an unhollowed, what's going to change? Well, your health bar could be lower. And at least in the first game, I think they might have changed that for the remaster. But yeah, if you're unhollowed, you cannot summon at all. Like this game uses a similar system, except they call it kindled and unkindled. Kindled, you can summon players. Unkindled, you can't summon players to help you. But yeah, like more advanced players don't even bother with the shield. But if you're, I'm more of a defensive player. I also prefer quick attacks. The problem with using a heavier weapon is it's slower, and it leaves you more vulnerable to attack. So I'm not. So I prefer not using. Ashen drink. There we go. So you get these Estus flasks. Estus flasks for healing. Ashen Estus flasks. This was introduced into Dark Souls 3. That's for magic attacks. That blue bar right there. Magic attacks or like magic that buffs your character, like makes you more resistant to heat, to fire, or makes you more resist. But yeah, there's a whole lot to explain. But yeah, this is fundamentally a very deep action RPG. You know, it's very technical, but ultimately, that's interesting. Ultimately, this game places a heavy emphasis on exploration. You have to pay attention to your surroundings because an enemy can come at you from nowhere. Like you could already know like where enemies are, like if you played this game a few times, but so you can't get careless. Now, well, with a game this complicated and this challenging, wouldn't it give you some explanations? Yes, it does. Now, if you read the message at the bottom, it tells you how to play. It doesn't stop you and interrupt your gameplay. It just tells you. Like for example, right here, strong attack R2, strong attack. The only problem with strong attack is it uses more stamina, and you're slower to hit an enemy, leaving you more vulnerable to attack. The slower you hit. That's why I like to. That's my preference. Other players' preference, like hitting hard, they're actually pretty good at it, but that also means, but yeah, like how you engage enemies is risk reward really. Tells you how to roll. I don't do backstepping very much or at all. Now when you run, that green bar stamina, you have to pay very close attention to it. Well, not stare at it all the time, but be mindful that your stamina is limited. When you sprint, when you roll, and when you attack. So you have to be smart about your moves. Now, a game like this, I don't like really hard games or like. Can unequip a weapon. Equip shield. You can two hand your weapon, which helps you hit harder, but the trade-off is you don't have your shield to deflect attacks or block attacks. But one thing to consider is that when you block an attack, that also takes stamina when they hit your shield. So, but yeah, it's risk versus reward. I don't like two-handed weapons and then rolling and attacking because I feel too exposed. You know, like yeah, there's certain disadvantages to having a sword up. And like only using a weapon with one hand. Like of course it's a trade-off. You know, you get better defense, but like your attacks don't do as much damage. I'm not saying like it does like half the damage. I'm just saying like when you're two-handing a weapon, it does a little bit more damage. But you know, I've noticed that it doesn't. I've never really seen that big of a difference. You know. I mean, sometimes the difference can really make a big difference, but I mean, at least for how I like to play. Now, the checkpoint system in this game is bonfires. Um, as you progress through the game, you find these bonfires. They're basically the checkpoints. So when you die, you come back. You come back to the nearest bonfire that you were last at, or at least the last bonfire. So when you rest at bonfire, it restores your Estus Flask supply, and it also restores your HP. Although if you do that, all the enemies that you took out in the area, they'll respawn. So you have to be mindful of that. And remember, like the souls that you collect from killing those enemies, they accumulate. So if you die on your way to the boss, and then like keep killing enemies, and then you can retrieve the souls that you lose. That's basically the slap on the wrist. You know, you die, you lose your souls, but you can retrieve them. But if you die again before you can retrieve them, those souls are gone. You know, but any item that you find in the area that you pick up, you keep. The game doesn't make you go back and pick it up all over again. You know, that's the one thing that when I first was getting into Dark Souls, no one made that very clear. That's why I think people can be kind of stupid with their explanations of a game like this. It sounds bad that you die, then you have to fight the enemies over again. It sounds bad. It sounds like, oh, you know, but it's not as bad as it seems. You just have to be. You just learn. You unlock different paths. You unlock shortcuts. You know, so that way the path to the boss gets easier. So there's that to keep in mind. It's easy right now because the game is basically showing you how to play. You know. So it's now if I go to the right, I'll fall off the cliff. But yeah, you have to be. But yeah, the environment can be just as dangerous as the enemies, so that's why you have to be mindful of your surroundings. The dash jump is kind of a pain in the ass, but that's if I want to get to there, that's what I have to do. But yeah, anything that you collect from the enemies, you keep, or anything that you find, you keep. Cool thing is, if you get behind an enemy, you can backstab them, which is pretty fun. When you backstab an enemy, you deal more damage. It's a little bit of health. That's okay. So, all right, first boss. Now, just because it's the first boss doesn't mean it's gonna go easy on you. It's pretty much trying to teach you how to. Like what to expect when you're fighting a boss. So it's pretty much just the. But yeah, you can die like a bunch of times against this boss, but you quickly learn, you know how to read a boss's attacks, how to just really pay close attention to what it's doing, reading his attacks, blocking or dodging, whichever works for you to play style. But you cannot get careless. Nor should you get overconfident. You should always be vigilant, because even if a boss has a tiny bit of health left, they can still destroy you with one attack. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and fight the boss. Whatever item's over there, I'll pick it up. Oh, I can get it now. But the problem is I hate jumping, because if you jump and land from a high spot, And jumping isn't the most intuitive thing in this game, or ever in a Dark Souls game. So. Can't even remember what that item was over there. Ugh. Oh, I didn't lose health that time. That wasn't. One way to mitigate damage from from a fall is like sometimes if you roll at the last minute. But from a high drop, you know, you're gonna lose a lot of health anyway, or you'll die if your health's too low. So there's that to keep in mind. But the game's not gonna expect you to do that much jumping, so. Ah, I lost health. Are you serious? Ah, son of a bitch. I don't want that to happen. I gotta be careful. I might die on accident against this boss. This is a bad idea. Ooh, luckily I was able to dodge that. You can't backstab a boss this big, by the way. I gotta stay away from the edge, because he could knock me off. Oh, and the bosses sometimes have two phases. When you take their health halfway down, they'll go into their second phase. Wow, that went a lot easier than I expected. Usually that fight is a lot more intense. I know that I made it look easy as shit, but ooh, my ember's been restored, which means my health went back up. You could tell if you're kindled or unkindled, basically just by looking at your character and looking at your health bar. So, oh, usually he's a lot more aggressive in when he transforms like that. But yeah, like that's something that was introduced into Dark Souls 3, like bosses having two phases, you know, like, or sometimes you take down the health bar of a boss. That's just the first phase. The second phase, they have a whole other bar, and then you have to take them down. And their second phase is their more difficult phase. But yeah, for the most part, when you take down a boss, half a boss's health, they'll go into the second phase, and they'll be even more difficult. I feel like that transformation was kind of going a little bit easy on me there. So, that was interesting. Because yeah, like that boss, like when he goes into his second transformation, he can jump up and drop down and take a lot of health from you. So you get this. At long range, bosses are even more dangerous further away than they are up close. You're actually you're definitely safer up close to a boss than you are further away. The further away you go, bosses will usually do a devastating attack from afar. That could, like, if you're not careful, if your health's too low, it'll kill you, or it'll just deal a lot of damage, and you'll be lucky if you can survive. So there's that to keep in mind. Hmm. I was hoping to knock it, backstab him. I don't know why it didn't. I don't know why it didn't work. Uh-oh. But yeah, the biggest punishment is that you become, at least in this game, you become unkindled, and you lose some of your health bar. But that doesn't seem fair because then you have to go, like if you die at a boss when you're kindled, then now you can become unkindled. There's these you get embers, and these embers make you kindled again. The only problem is they're limited. They're extremely limited. Well, so there's a couple ways you can get an ember. You either find them, sometimes you can buy them, sometimes if there's a merchant that carries them, or you can invade another player. You can invade another player, like let's say you're unkindled, you invade them, and then you can become kindled. But I never do invasions, so. But yeah, that's pretty much why you would want. But you need a specific item in order to invade other players. Otherwise, like while you're playing online, other players are gonna invade you. Not all the time. There's, from what I've seen in Dark Souls, there's certain areas where a player is more inclined to invade you. There's now Dark Souls has a faction system where you can join. Oh, sorry, a covenant system, which is kind of like a faction system. You join different covenants, and so like in certain areas, if a player like coming right through, you can invade them, and protect the area in which the covenant you're a part of. Think of it as, but that's the extent of this game's multiplayer experience. Like multiplayer is meant to be like in short bursts, so you're not meant to. So this game isn't really built for like extended multiplayer section where you're playing like together for like an hour, 2 hours. Either you invade a player and kill him quickly, or you summon a player, and they'll help you fight a boss and try to defeat it quickly. So the online interactions are very quick. You can also, conversely, assist another player in defeating a boss. And by doing that, see, there's an ember. So, and by doing that, you'll. Sorry. By assisting the player with the boss and helping to defeat it, you'll become unkindled. And you'll get a bunch of souls for it too. So there's incentive there. I must be on off-play mode right now because I'm not seeing other messages. Because normally I'd see messages, I'll see bloodstains. Now other players can actually leave messages, and so can you. About like if there's a secret area or like how to reach a certain item. But you got to be careful though, because like sometimes the player might lie. But it can't just be any message, otherwise it's going to be filled with cluttered with stupid, like, nonsensical messages. It only gives you certain words you can use. So you're kind of limited on that, so no such, like, finding, like, stupid and weird things, otherwise it'll completely clutter up the game and just, like, This keeps it much tighter. And there's no dedicated voice chat for like chatting with players when you play online. That's really up to you. But since playing together is or like assisting or invading can and be in short bursts, then there's really no point to have like there's as far as this game, like dedicated like voice chat, you know. That's really up to like whoever's playing if they want to do that. Now there are NPCs in the game. Now they don't give you quests. You have to kind of you have to discover where you need to go, which boss you need to defeat. But yeah, there are hidden side quests within the game. If you talk to certain NPCs, they're completely optional. The incentive for those hidden side quests is maybe you get a weapon, maybe you find, you know, or maybe you'll find an optional boss. So, but yeah, this game definitely isn't like most role-playing games. You know, it doesn't coddle you. It doesn't feed you. It doesn't coddle you. It doesn't treat you like you're stupid. You know, it leaves it up to you to try to figure out things for yourself, and that can be hard.
A pleasure to make thine acquaintance,
But
Ashen One.
But just shows that this game really wants you to kind of like discover the world for yourself.
Weapons, armor, trinkets, and spells. I've lots of little things to ease the burden of a weary traveler. And yes, I'm undead too, but not so charitable as to give my goods away, Ashen One. Fetch souls and bring them to me, as is thy wont.
But yeah, this is one merchant that you'll find. Of course, she sells a couple of embers, so you know. Also sells arrows that you can buy, weapons, and even and miracles and like sorcery attacks as well. White sign soapstone, that is definitely something that you need. That's so like you leave your summon sign, and another when you're playing online, you leave your summon sign, like you don't just leave it anywhere though. You want to leave it in a place where you think a player, like let's say you're like making your way to a boss, and you think, maybe someone might need help, you know. And if the player does want your help, they'll summon you. I mean, sometimes you could be waiting for like a little while, or sometimes you wait as little as like a minute to anywhere as long as like maybe 5-10 minutes. It depends on who's playing this game at the same time, or whoever's in the area at the same time. So, but usually like around the world, people are playing this game, so it's kind of hard not to find people who are gonna need help. You know. I prefer to play solo, so that way I don't have to rely on an internet connection to beat the game. So that's my preference, but you have to remember that if you play online, you know there's certain conditions in which let's say you know you want to summon somebody, but you can't because you're unkindled. So that's one way that this game wants you to teach you, like, try not to die. You're gonna die. It's gonna happen, you know, especially if you're just kind of learning the game or you get careless. So it's not like they don't expect you not to die. You know, you're just gonna get a little bit more strategic about when you use your embers when you do die, so you can unkindle, so you can summon, you know. But of course, you have multitude of options available to you as far as becoming unkindled. You know, you can leave your summon sign and like help out another player. Now, some bosses are easier than others. Like that first boss, you know, there's no co-op for that. That's just an introductory boss. Other bosses, let's say that are like really tough, you know, other players are going to be more inclined to like want help with those. So that's something to keep in mind.
Well, I am Andre. I serve at this shrine as a humble smith, forging weapons. You're in search of the Lords of Cinder, I trust. A toilsome journey, I'd wager. You require good good arms.
Now he's not the only.
Blacksmith, such as my purpose.
He's not the only blacksmith in the game. You'll find other merchants, like in other areas. But yeah, in order for him to like infuse weapons, I'm not going to be using it. Now this is something new that they introduced. Dark Souls 1 and 2 don't have this, where you can have the blue Estus flask. That's for like your blue. That's for your blue bar. You know, so if you want to do like miracles, like heal, you could actually heal yourself. You know, you got to remember that's limited by how many blue flasks that you have. So that is that to keep in mind. There's so much in this game to explain. You know, but yeah, I preference just like putting all my flasks in there because I don't really plan on using any miracles or any magic attacks. So.
Pretty be careful. I don't want to see my work squandered.
Okay, so here is where you level up if you want to upgrade your character. You talk to this one.
Welcome to the bonfire, unkindled one. I am a firekeeper. I tend to the flame, and tend to thee. The lords have left their thrones, and must be delivered to them. To this end I am at thy side. Very well. Take nourishment from these sovereignless souls.
Okay, so Vigor brings up your health. Vitality brings up your equip load. In the other games, Vitality brings up your health. So now, why is equip load important? The more you can equip, like let's say if you want to get better armor. I mean, some players, like really good players, they'll use light armor, but you know, it can kind of make a difference. You know, if you can't take as much physical damage, you know, you'd be surprised. Other players, like, you know, who are like really good at this type of game, like they can go like no armor, like pretty much. I preference at least having some armor. But yeah, equip load is something to consider also when you're like carrying a really heavy weapon, because like the heavier your equipment, even if like let's say you took off like half your armor, you're carrying a heavy weapon or carrying a heavy shield, you know, it's going to be more difficult to dodge roll. So that's why you want to like bring up your equip load if you think that you need to, depending on the equipment that you use. So, you know, what's the advantage of like, oh crap, sorry about that, of having a higher equip load? You could run faster, you could dodge roll quicker, you know. So endurance is that green bar. You know, you bring up your endurance, you can attack more, you get your shield hit, you can, you know, you're going to want to bring up your endurance for as much as you think you need to. Attunement is for magic, of course. It brings up that blue bar. Vigor, like health. Strength, you know. Dexterity. Dexterity is mainly for like both physical weapons and bows and arrows. So you're going to want to bring up your dexterity for bows and arrows. Intelligence for magic. Actually, attunement is, yeah. Okay. So yeah, there's certain conditions that you need, like certain stats that you need to, if you want to like use certain weapons. So like if a weapon requires that you have like your stats at a certain number, you got to bring up those stats. Those are the stats you want to focus on to use the equipment that you want as well. So luck, I don't really like mess around with that. I guess luck, it has something to do with more with like finding better items, you know, at least at a higher frequency. But that's never really been an issue for me, so I never touch luck. Faith is like if you want to use like miracles and heals to buff your character. So yeah, I will. So I will be bringing up my endurance. I should probably bring up my strength and dexterity. I'm gonna focus on like mainly these three, and of course I'll like bring up my vigor, but I have the souls to bring my character 3 levels.
Farewell, may the flames guide thee.
Here's the cool thing. Sometimes if you gesture, an NPC will gesture back. But yeah, there's a gesture system, so like if you're playing with somebody online and you need them to go a direction forward, tell them we're going up. Or you can wave. Tell them hello, hey, how's it going? I'm here. Or you can do that when you're telling them goodbye after like or when you're happy that you help defeat a boss. That too. You can learn other gestures from NPCs. But yeah. Actually, I think I learned a gesture. Now, this game introduced being able to sell items, but I don't really do that often, nor do I find the need to sell items. Wait a minute, didn't she have a bow and arrow? $20,000 for that tower key. Forgot about that.
Ashen one.
The mark to lock.
But yeah, like if you get kind of confused to where to go, like, or you need an idea where you need to go, sometimes it helps to talk to NPCs. They won't spell it out for you, but they'll kind of give you an idea, like to guide you in the right direction.
Ashen one, to be unkindled is to be a vessel for souls. Sovereignless souls will become thy strength.
Basically telling you souls will help you.
Ashen one, bring me souls plucked from their vessels. Farewell, Ashen one, may the flames guide thee.
I'm not sure why this game uses a theme of like, you know, fire. But yeah, apparently there's even a lot more to the lore than but yeah, hell, there's probably stuff that I haven't discovered in this game. But yeah, this is a game about discovery. It's a game about like learning to play better. Sometimes it's also a game about like cooperation too. If you do plan on playing the game like online, you know, just keep in mind there's certain conditions the game will have for you in order for you to summon. Oh, those homeward bones, those are to return you to the nearest bonfire. So, ooh, there's another ember. Trust me, there's not very many embers, so you're gonna want to save them for when you need them. I tend to be pretty stingy with my embers, so if I know that I'm gonna probably need to take a couple attempts at a boss, or I try not to use my ember. Occasionally you'll find an NPC that's stronger than most enemies. You have to be really careful with that. Uh-oh. that bar right there, that's basically bleed resistance. Now, if that bar goes all the way up, it means that you'll bleed and you'll start to lose health. Kind of like hemorrhaging. Just gotta try to get behind this person. Oh, god damn it. The damn range. What a jackass. They might kill me. Oh fuck. They went through all of my stuff. See what I mean? You have to be very careful. But you gotta learn. You basically gotta learn how to exploit your enemies. Oh damn it! Come on. They can't have that high stamina. Oh shit. I don't like not being able to see behind me. I'm gonna die. Now that's gonna seem weird. Why is the enemy backing away when they could just like finish you off in here? The enemies are programmed to stay in their areas. I know it's odd, but I think that's just for the sake of like balance, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. Because it would kind of suck if you're trying to like go somewhere for like safety, you know, and then you still have enemies coming after you. That would be really annoying. So, you know, I think this is the best alternative, you know. Enemies stay in their designated areas, and they'll only pursue you for like however long. So, if I try attacking that enemy, they're gonna parry me. I just know it. Or I could just taunt them and piss them off. Well, see how they did a. Now I'm just kind of teasing them right now. They're not gonna come in here. That's a good thing for me. They're gonna only seem like they can come in here, but. And watch, they're gonna hit me hard and kill me. But yeah, they messed me up pretty good, so I'm gonna be cheap with this guy. Oh fuck. Ah, I knew they were gonna do that. Bastard. But yeah, NPCs tend to be like a lot more difficult, even a lot more difficult even than bosses. They can do ridiculous amount of damage. Sucks too, but you know. But why is my damage weapon doing so little damage? I'm just, you know, I need to find a better weapon, pretty much. That's what it boils down to. You find better weapons, you upgrade them. You know, you up your stats, and then you can start to hit the enemies harder. You gotta watch out for some of those stances, like that. That stance seems very dangerous. Actually, I think if I kill this NPC, I'll get the katana. Now the setting for Dark Souls is kind of like a medieval Tolkien-esque setting. So why is there a katana in this game? It's a Japanese game. Whew. I'm not proud of that my tactic there, but you know what? It worked for me. It's okay to find exploits in the game's programming. I just don't like that NPC. I don't like that they put that NPC there. Because I probably wasn't supposed to be able to take out the NPC immediately. I was probably supposed to get stronger to take him out. But yeah, I suppose there are players that play this game and like take out the NPC just so they can like equip the Uchi Katana. Now the Uchi Katana is a weapon that appears in all three Dark Souls games. So, but my attributes are too low. My dexterity needs to be higher in order for me to equip it. But I'm only doing like five more damage. And the problem with the Uchi Katana is it'll break a little bit more easily. Now the weapons are gonna break like right away completely, you know. But yeah, there's that to keep in mind. You have to like make sure that your weapons remain in good condition. You just use souls to repair them. It's nothing like. That's a really easy thing to keep track of. So, but yeah, that wasn't the direction I was supposed to be going. Sometimes I get confused about which direction I'm supposed to be going. Because like everything here is like kind of like a labyrinth. I don't know why it's always this area that's this area like kind of functions somewhat as a hub. This in here it's pretty much like a hub.
Ah, another one roused from the sleep of death. Well, you're not alone. We unkindled are worthless. Can't even die right. Gives me conniptions. And they'd have us seek the lords of Cinder and return them to their moulding thrones. But we're talking true legends, with the metal to link the fire. Don't you think?
I guess in this game, like when you automatically learn the gestures when you talk to NPCs, as opposed to like have the option to like learn gesture. It'll prompt you. Oh, and you can pretty much kill any NPC. I should mention that. But you kind of don't want to do that. Because one, that NPC will upgrade your weapons and armor, and that NPC, the woman, she'll level you up. So you might not want to kill her. But yeah, you could also kill pretty much any NPC you encounter. Although some NPCs will put up a fight, you know, they're not gonna just let you kill them. Like this guy, if I can attack him. But yeah, he's gonna put up a fight, and I'll probably lose. Shouldn't there be a bonfire for me to kindle? I don't want to drop down, because if I drop down anywhere, I'll die. Oh, that scenery. Right, there's a specific area you can reach up there. Like if you, I think you use the tower key. I gotta be careful not to run into dogs. I don't want to be unkindled just yet. I don't mind if I die though and lose my kindling because like it happens sooner or later. So if I die and if I'm unkindled and I die, you know, it's for me it's not a big deal. Because what am I only losing? Just souls. Or I could have just done that before I fought that NPC. I don't know why that thought didn't occur to me. And NPCs can heal too, but they don't do it all the time. Fuck, I got the path all messed up. But yeah, when you kill an NPC like that, the way I did, they don't respawn. Once they're dead for good. Damn it. I always get this area mixed up. Bear with me for a sec. So I try to wrap my head around this labyrinth. So now the way to go through is through here. I hate when I forget. Yeah, but I'm trying to find the... Why isn't the bonfire... Wait. Well, shouldn't the bonfire be right there? Oh, shit. Damn it.
The mark of ash will guide thee to the land of the lords, to Lothric, where the homes of the lords converge. Very well.
Why did the prompt come up? I hate when games do that. Like you have to stand at a very specific spot to make the prompt come up.
Farewell, Ashen One. May the
Now I don't have enough souls to get a... Now, you can strengthen... Oh wait, burn undead bone shard. What does it do? Oh, that gives you more Estus flasks. Attuning magic. You can only have like maybe like 1 or 2 spells, depending on like how high your attunement is. You can have as many spells. But keep in mind, you have that bar there, so your uses are limited. Alright, I spent too much time here. Let's show the dragon. But no, the next boss is not going to be a dragon. But yeah, that's the goal. You want to reach as many bonfires as you can, because you can fast travel between the bonfires. In the first game, you had to unlock that feature, and you can only fast travel to certain bonfires. In this game, you can fast travel to any one that you find. But if you want to level up, you have to go to a bonfire, and you have to fast travel back to the Firelink Shrine if you want to upgrade your weapons and level up. So Firelink Shrine being the hub of the game. Hub of the game. Sorry. It's something that was borrowed from like a precursor to the Dark Souls games, Demon Souls. The first Dark Souls games, there was somewhat of sort of a hub, but it wasn't really encouraged that you keep returning to it. There you are. Only problem with taking this guy out. Oh, I forgot to mention, dropping, you can actually get the drop on an enemy if you drop down from a platform and stab them. But make sure the platform isn't too high. Uh-oh. Dogs are annoying. Cannot... it fell. It's dead. Oh, shit. When I was laughing at the dog falling, this enemy got to get the drop on me. There we go. But yeah, backstabs, you have to like... Ooh. You have to be directly behind the enemy. Even if you think you got directly behind the enemy, sometimes you won't backstab at all. So you also can't be holding up your shield when you're trying to backstab an enemy. You have to let go of your shield, get behind it, and boom. But yeah, like keeping your shield up when your stamina is like trying to recover, like your stamina will recover slowly if you keep your shield up. So that's another thing to keep in consideration, like risk versus reward when it comes to offense and defense. Like I said, there's players that are more offensive. They'll just go charging in. They'll roll, attack. Like I said, they think they can, but I try not to get attacked. Try being the operative term. This area is very dangerous because one of those things transforms, and it's horrible. Like the first boss transforming into like whatever the hell that was. So I better not mess around with that. But yeah, the key through getting through this game is like exploring and finding the shortcuts to the bonfires. So that way when you reach the boss, you'll have a shorter path to get to the boss if you die. Or conversely, like let's say you clear all the path, you get the shortcut, you run back, and let's say you depleted your Estus flask, you can go back to the bonfire. Get your health up, use your souls to level up, or go back to the Firelink Shrine, spend your souls, unload what you need. That's what I prefer doing. I don't like carrying around too many souls. Especially, you don't want to carry a ton of souls when you go into a boss. It's just not the best idea. Usually you'll know if you're going to get to the boss if there's a pretty obvious setup where there's like a gray mist, heavy gray mist, you know. But usually, Gray Mist will get you into another. Well, you'll be entering another area, and that won't be a boss. But you'll kind of get the sense of like when you might be encountering a boss. Which one is it that transforms though? I really don't like that one that has a crossbow. Well, at least I got the long bow. But yeah, that thing right there, it will destroy you. But you can actually kill that thing. I think it killed the other NPCs for me. I mean, the other enemies. Oh, I forgot to mention inventory equipment. You can actually you can actually use an ember. Like if you're unkindled, you're gonna want to use ember, like an ember to like kindle, like just before a boss, if you think you need to do that. But I don't recommend becoming unkindled when you're trying a boss for the first time, because you know you die, then you just that ember just went to waste. So there's that. So there's that to keep in mind. But yeah, you can mess around with your inventory. Get that life ring there. There's my armor, weapons, homeward bone. That'll get you to the, like, let's say you get into trouble and you have like a homeward bone equipped in your inventory. Switch off. There it is, your homeward bone. So if you get yourself into trouble, you're gonna need time though. You're gonna need like maybe like 10 seconds to like see. Let's say you use it, and like you either go to the Fire Lake Shrine or the Bonfire Last Rest. You pick it quickly, but the game keeps going in real time. There is no pause button. There's no pause button in this game. The game just keeps no pause button, and that's because this game is also built with an online infrastructure in mind. So there is no pause. You cannot pause. The checkpoint system is like wherever you can actually. I can stand here. I could stand here, go to system, and I could quit out of the game. I can just boom, quit out of the game, and like next time I come back to the game, I'm gonna be standing in that spot. Everything's still gonna be dead. Everything that I killed so far is gonna be dead. So, but yeah, you can like start and stop the game anytime you want. That's what's cool about it. And dear God, it actually went down. I was not expecting it to come down. That's bad. That's very, very bad. Just really hoping it wouldn't do that. It sucks in the first two Dark Souls games you can carry as many arrows as you want. This game it cuts it down to like just 100. Oh dear God. Now I could go in there and physically attack it, but its attacks are a hell of a lot more devastating. Now I'm just taunting it. So I went too far. It can't. Damn it. Can't go too far from where it's programmed to go. That's some pretty good damage. Uh-oh. And no, I don't do this all the time in this game, like try to like exploit the AI like this. Jesus. Because you think like, oh, did that make the game easier? Not necessarily. I wonder if I could drop down. Oh god, it's not moving. It's not gonna move. This is very, very bad. It could kill me right next to the bonfire, which I admit wouldn't be such a bad thing. Oh wait, maybe I can get the drop down on it. There's an attack you can do. Like I mentioned earlier, you can drop down from a platform. Oh god. You could actually kill me right now. You just drop down. This is risky. I don't know if it's gonna work. Ooh, if my health had been lower, I would have died on that one. I hate those things. Wow. Yeah, like if I hadn't bothered to like drink a flask, that thing would have destroyed me right then and there. I hate that thing. Yeah, usually that thing pretty much takes me out. Glad I was able to get the longbow. Fortunately, that was only this area was only just so I can grab the longbow. It's not where I need to go next. But I'm glad that I killed it though. Basically, I just gotta find the path that you need to go to unlock the shortcut. Fortunately, I don't think those things respawn. Keep forgetting if they respawn or not. But yeah, they start off as regular enemies and then they transform. Luckily, they're not everywhere. There's just a few spots where you can find them. Damn it. Oh yeah, I was supposed to head the other direction. My bad. Oh, there's the dragon. Uh-oh. The hell was that? It's gonna attack me anyway. But yeah, there's also consumables that can help you, aid you in your exploration in this hellhole. You just have to make sure to replenish them by buying them with souls. You can find them, but you can also. But remember, if you want to get a full stock, sometimes you have to farm for souls. So either farm for souls to level up, or farm for souls. What do you call it? This is where the dragon is. I should wait. Take out this guy first. Guys with the spear suck. Spears have that range. Oh, your jackass and your crossbow. That's just one of those areas that you want to run through. That's where the dragon typically comes. Now you see a lot of players just run past all these enemies. Ugh. The reason you want to do that because the dragon is gonna come out. Why is the dragon coming out? Uh-oh. I did bad. No, I didn't want to do this. Oh, crap. I was trying to find the shortcut to unlock. Fuck. Ah, they're still pursuing me. Ooh, I hate that one. Jackass. You don't want to fight them two at a time. 'Cause two enemies attacking you, very bad. Yeah, I normally don't do crap like that, but Jesus. Usually I'm a little bit more slow and methodical. Uh-oh. There's the other one. Yep, there he is. Unfortunately, you're supposed to go through that area. They always put the thing that you don't want to, that you want to fight the least in the area that you don't want to. But I'm gonna go ahead and try to unlock the shortcut here. What the hell is wrong with the knight? I think he's broken. Damn it. But yeah, you want to finish them off like that only if you think you have enough stamina to do it. Oh, you bastard! I should have known better. Oh, you fucker. I'm gonna die. I'm just trying to find that damn shortcut. Actually, I'm getting closer to it, I believe. No, I gotta find the key to get this door open. That's what this path was about. Damn it. I should mention I've already played through this game twice. Last time I played it was last year. Ooh. Fuck. I must have skipped something. If I forgot about the damn key. Watch, that knight is going to become unbroken and then attack me. Nope, he's still stupid and still broken. Why didn't that dragon come out? That's what confuses me. Usually that dragon comes out and just burns all those enemies. Uh-oh. That noise made me nervous. Oh, I found the other bonfire. Oh, good. Okay. But yeah, it's actually going to be a while before I get to the second boss, so that's not going to happen tonight. Just wanted to just talk about why do I like Dark Souls. Like, even knowing its notoriety as a difficult game. Well, first off, like, the guy who got me into this game, he coached me on how to play. He explained it to me much better than anyone else. Otherwise, I would never have even touched Dark Souls ever. Yeah, he coached me how to play the first game, you know. You know, just he showed me, like, you know, just being defensive, vigilant, stuff like that, you know. As long as you do that, then, you know, you'll be able to survive. You won't be dying like 100 times. Notice, like, how many times have I died at all? You know, well, it helps that I've already played this game, but, you know. And have, like, an idea of, like, what to watch out for, what to, you know, how to be careful. So, that certainly does help.
Well, very well, then take no.
But yeah, this game is more than just about, like, even leveling up as an RPG. You know, you could level up your stats high, but you could still get easily killed. Except with, like, well, I guess the weaker enemies can still kill you, but you'll be strong enough to, like, kill them quickly. So, but you're not going to be expected to, like, always be in the beginning areas or need to go back to them. Every new area you discover, like, you know, the enemies will scale up based on not based on how strong you are. You know, you're going to want to level up anyway. Some players can do this level 1 or not even leveling up at all. They're crazy, but they can do it.
Farewell, me.
Just gotta find. I want to find another dead bone shard. You can carry as many as 14. Well, actually, I don't remember how many. The most I've been able to be. The most I guess class I've been able to carry is like 14. So yeah, you just have to, like, look for those. I know the thing. There's weird names for the things that you need to upgrade, but just it is what it is. You just have to pay attention to what the NPCs tell you, because they'll specifically tell you what you'll need. So, or they'll allude to it. But they won't always necessarily spell it out for you. I kind of feel like I should be upgrading the longbow, at least for now. The cool thing is, like, even though merchants are limited on supplies for certain, like, more rare consumables like embers, you can buy certain items from them infinitely, like a homeward bone, repair powder. I never really used repair powder, because I never, like, step away from a bonfire long enough to, like, not be able to go back and repair my weapons when I need them. But yeah, you don't have to worry, like, constantly worry about your weapons breaking. You know, there's certain things that can cause your weapons to break, but, you know, it's pretty rare. Well, not as common as you think it would be. Okay, I'm carrying around 99 arrows. That's good. It's really good. Okay, but yeah, that's Dark Souls 3. I know that's just a tiny sliver of what this game is, but it's really a game, just a very deep action RPG. Doesn't hold your hand, doesn't treat you like an idiot, you know. Lets you just go in there and, you know, here you go, play, you know. And if you do need help and you're like, you know, where do I find this? Oh, I can do that. You can, like, go on. There's a wiki. You could look up things. If you're dying a bunch of times, you're getting frustrated with the boss, you could level up. Or, you know, if you feel up to it, you can. You have to play on online mode. I'm not on online mode with right now, but you go on online mode, which is more ideal. Which is ideal when you play this game. Just remember that you're going to be exposed to probably get invaded, where another player can come into your game and then come and kill you. I mean, that sounds bad, but it also kind of like builds on like this game's world and like just adds to I don't know. But yeah, this is a very community-driven game. Like online, the community is very dedicated, and also from what I've seen, like pretty friendly. But yeah, I don't really play online anyways. But yeah, I don't know. There's other people that can like go way more into like how Dark Souls works. That's for me. This is just the basics. I have an understanding of like how the game works, how to play it, how to survive in it. But as far as like other things, you know, that they get really deep mechanically, that's something that stuff that you could either look up on a wiki or ask other players if you can find them. Not within the game, I mean, like, you know. Anyway, that's it for me for the night. That is Dark Souls 3. So yeah, this is Nerotikk signing off.